Paddy Dingle makes a daring choice in Emmerdale next week, deciding to send his troubled father, Bear Wolf, for counselling. But could this move endanger the secret surrounding Ray Walter's death? In recent weeks, the village vet has unexpectedly taken control, doing everything possible to prevent the police from uncovering Bear's role in the Ray case. However, the strain of the situation is clearly weighing heavily on Bear. In scenes airing next week, Paddy's young accomplice, Dylan Penders, finally speaks out, revealing the truth to April Windsor. Paddy is enraged that Dylan has involved someone else in their deception, yet events take an unexpected turn when April becomes a vital source of comfort for Bear. During an emotional conversation, April and Bear open up about the trauma they've each endured. Later, Paddy walks in to find his father in the middle of a distressing emotional collapse, with April left deeply shaken. Reassuring April that she isn't responsible for Bear's breakdown, Paddy comes to the realization that his father urgently needs professional support, even if it means risking the truth coming to light. Paddy's only just been reunited with his dad, and now he's terrified of losing him again, explains Dominic Brunt, who portrays Paddy. Bear could end up being convicted of murder. Paddy has faith in the legal system, but Bear is in a terrible state, mentally trapped in something like Stockholm Syndrome because of his feelings towards Ray. Paddy is trying to protect his dad, and he also knows that Dylan would be dragged into it, since they were all involved in hiding the body. As Bear attends his counselling session, he remains overwhelmed by guilt and confusion over Ray's death. The question remains whether he can discuss his fragile mental health without incriminating himself, something Paddy is desperately hoping for. Paddy is constantly thinking things through, Dominic adds. He spends nearly all his free time, even through the night, planning how to stay ahead and keep his family safe. He's managing for now, but he's plagued by paranoia that the police will start asking questions. He's trying to hold everything together and keep up appearances, but it's not something he's very good at. Kane opens up about his cancer diagnosis in what is set to be Emmerdale's most powerful episode of the year. Viewers are advised to keep the tissues close for tonight's ITV installment, as it delivers an intensely emotional watch. In a smart storytelling choice by the producers, Paddy Dingle becomes the sole focus as the episode follows him throughout his day, from his hospital visit to the moment he begins to process his life-changing news. Fans will be aware that Kane recently underwent medical tests after concerns were raised about prostate cancer. During last month's explosive Corriedale episode, Kane was shot by John Sugden and rushed to hospital. While being treated, doctors discovered a lump and warned him that further examinations would be needed to determine whether it was cancerous. In tonight's specially crafted episode, Kane receives the devastating confirmation that he does have prostate cancer. Although it hasn't spread, doctors explain that there is still a possibility it could. As the consultant outlines Kane's treatment options, viewers are allowed inside his head, hearing his private thoughts as he struggles to absorb the news. True to form, Kane's instinctive response is denial, shutting down emotionally and acting as if nothing has changed. Once back in the village, Kane lashes out at neighbours, friends and family alike, behaviour that won't surprise long-time viewers. This time, however, the audience is given rare insight into his inner turmoil and his deep desire to confide in someone. Having watched Emmerdale for years, I know Kane well and understand his tough guy persona. In the past, I've worried that the character had reached a dead end, stuck in a repetitive cycle of violence, affairs and brute behaviour. His friendship with Liam Kavanagh offered a short break from that pattern, but it wasn't quite enough to truly reset Kane's direction. While soap villains can be entertaining, what resonates more are characters with depth, contradiction, and emotional range, those who reflect the full experience of being human. That's exactly what this episode delivers. For once, viewers are granted full access to Kane's fears, pain, and vulnerability, a side of him that's long overdue. The emotional breakthrough arrives in the final moments, when Kane's granddaughter Sarah Sugden finds him at his father Zach Dingle's grave. Refusing to be pushed aside, Sarah stands her ground, and Kane finally breaks, revealing the truth he's been hiding. It's a tender and deeply moving scene that genuinely brought me to tears. Director Paul Copeland makes several bold and beautiful creative choices, raising the standard not just for Emmerdale, but for soap storytelling as a whole. Now that Kane has allowed Sarah to see behind his armor, there's hope that this softer side will continue to surface, even as he tries to uphold his hardened image in the village. This episode feels like the first chapter of a much larger journey. With Moira Dingle in prison and a cancer diagnosis looming over him, Kane's future feels more uncertain than ever. Will he lean on those closest to him for strength, or retreat into old patterns of self-destruction once again? ITV Emmerdale fans were left stunned after spotting Jimmy King actor Nick Miles in a long-forgotten 1990s role. The 63-year-old star, best known for playing Jimmy King since 2004, looks almost unrecognizable in the throwback appearance. He originally arrived in the Yorkshire village alongside siblings Matthew, Max and Carl, as well as their father Tom. Jimmy's time in the Dales has been anything but easy, with his storylines including the deaths of all his brothers and his father. He has faced numerous business challenges, feuded bitterly with the Sugden family, and even survived a stabbing by Daz Eden following an arson incident that Jimmy himself instigated. His personal life has also been turbulent, with the collapse of his marriage to Sadie King, before eventually marrying Nicola Blackstock and becoming a father later on. In 2024, Jimmy became involved in a dramatic storyline when his nephew Tom subjected his wife Belle Dingle to physical and emotional abuse. Initially unaware of the situation, Jimmy ultimately confronted Tom and supported Belle through the subsequent court case. Further drama hit last year when Jimmy's son, Carl Holiday, shared an inappropriate photo of Clemmy Reed via a school group chat. The incident came to light after Clemmy's brother, Lucas Taylor, physically confronted Carl at school. Outside of Emmerdale, Nick Miles has enjoyed a prolific career with appearances in shows including Heartbeat, Peak Practice, Silent Witness, and Casualty. Recently, fans rediscovered Nick's 1990s role in the police drama The Bill, where he played Chief Superintendent Guy Mannion across 13 episodes from 1999 to 2001. His character was based at Barton Street Police Station and often crossed paths with Sun Hill officers during training exercises. Sharing a photo of the actor on Reddit, one fan wrote, "If anyone remembers The Bill, Nick Miles played Chief Superintendent Guy Mannion in the 90s. Others added humorous remarks, including, "I wonder if he would have run the Houghton police better than we've seen recently." Another commented, "Not as intimidating back then, but he had a real glint in his eye during The Bill." A third fan said, I totally forgot about this." While a fourth noted, there was some rivalry with the older Sun Hill officers because he was so young. It was quite funny. Nick wasn't the only Emmerdale actor to appear in The Bill. Natalie J. Robb and Beth Cordingley, who play Moira Dingle and Ruby Milligan, also have credits, alongside Jay Griffiths, who portrayed Celia Daniels. Jay left the show after her character Celia was tragically killed by her own son, Ray Walters, on New Year's Day. Last week, Celia's remains were discovered on Moira's land, adding more tension to the storyline for the beloved farmer. Emmerdale airs weekdays at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and STV.